Hey, hi, hello, how's it going? This video is pretty spontaneous because recently you saw I attempted the Moshikame challenge, which looked a little something like this. And a keen-eyed and wonderful viewer by the name of Mary, shout out to you, Mary, noticed that I had to keep adjusting my serrato like this, the cup part, squeezing it onto the sword, because it had a tendency to really come loose. This, of course, prompted some discussion on the best way to keep these cups in place, because let me show you, even after squishing it down, after a simple little session, they loosen right up. So maybe you heard me pushing it down, and I'm pushing it like almost to the point, I don't know if you can see that that's like the hole where the string would go, and that's like showing. So this is pushed down way too far, way too tight, and I'm gonna play just like for a minute and you'll see they'll loosen up. And now if we finish that little session, you know, we're like 63 Moshikames in, and you can see just like no force required, these cups are super loose. Now, so that prompted some discussion as to what's the best way to, you know, keep this from happening, keep the cups tight and in the right spot, and a couple common methods kind of were brought to the table. There's first the paper method, where you slip a little piece of paper, as I try to reassemble this, a little piece of paper in between the cups and the spike in here so that it, you know, makes it like a snug fit. There's the super glue method, which is basically just glue these cups in place. There's the water method, where you put water on the sword part, and I guess it would kind of swell up and make it a tighter fit. And then there's also the option of a small rubber band. In the place where you'd put the super glue or the paper, you just put a small rubber band around here, and then when you put that back down, the rubber band kind of, you know, fills in some of that space and keeps it gripped and locked in. Now, that rubber band method, I think it may be tough for a lot of people to get their hands on a tiny rubber band, so we'll leave that to the side for now. The super glue kind of freaks me out because it sounds a little too permanent, and you could easily overdo it and then not be able to adjust it at all, so that kind of freaks me out. And then the water, I feel like once the wood kind of dries out, I feel like you're going to be right back to the same problem. I could be wrong. We could test that in the future. But for today, I want to try the simple, humble piece of paper / sticky note method and just see if it works short term. And then long term, I'll play this out, and maybe I'll leave a pinned comment for me to update you if the piece of paper method, you know, only lasts for an hour, or if it is a good permanent fix for these loosey-goosey cups. Okay, I got some scissors because we're gonna need that, and I have some nice pink little sticky notes. Pink for Mother's Day soon, maybe? I don't know, I'm not a mother, but if we take our tools here, it should be a pretty easy procedure. I'm going to remove the cups, which is nice and easy because they're nice and loose, and then I'm gonna grab one of these sticky notes, and I'm gonna cut so that I really just keep the part that has, like, you know, the actual stickiness on it. The rest of the paper, I mean, you could do this with just a piece of paper that's not sticky, but I think everyone can get their hands on sticky notes, and I think it's going to make it easier to actually apply it where we want it. Okay, so now I have acquired a little sticky piece of paper, put my scissors over there, and I'm going to put the cups on just to find where we're going to want that piece of paper, because we want to make sure the paper is going to be wherever we want the cups to end up sitting, right? Okay, you won't be able to see it, but I'm just going to like kind of press in with my fingernail and mark the spot. Yep, I can see that. So I'm going to lift this up, and then I can see the little nail nick where I kind of marked it, and I'm going to just stick this paper so that it reaches, you know, right above that little line, so the cups will be able to go around the sticky note, just like so. I've got that sticky note stuck, and it is peeling up a bit. The sticky is not very sticky. Should have called it a kinda sticky note. But now, holding the piece of paper in place there, I'm going to slide the cups down around it. Make sure to keep that string out of the way. Okay, and that went on there nice and snugly. My ability to measure and mark things clearly is pretty flawed because you can see a tiny little bit of pinky under there. A little bit of pink under there. But I'm going to give this another quick minute session, see if we have any effect. And you can even see, like, I mean, you can't see, but I can feel the snugness is closer to that of just a regular kendama that didn't get all loosey-gooseified. Okay, so it definitely held up nicely. I can feel by the snugness in my hand that it's, you know, it wants to stay more in place. And I also just adjusted it so that the sticky note isn't poking through anymore. You can also see that when I push it down like firmly to where it wants to be, that little bit on the inside where the string used to be is no longer showing through. So that's kind of proving that the cups haven't slid as far down, which is what we want with the sticky note to be held snugly in place. So this seems to be a good way to kind of widen the sword part just so that the cups stay nice and snug there. Like I said, I will see how this plays out long term, but right now, like you can feel the difference, and that's simply proof in itself. And of course, I mean, the fact that there's paper in there, it's very obvious that this would snug up the fit, but it's simple to do. It's a quick fix, and like I said, at least for short term, it seems to be keeping the cups where I want them. So do with that what you will. I now have this less loosey-goosey than it was before, which I am happy with. And yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want me to test out before you run away from this video forever. Have a good one. Goodbye.